Hey, I'm Tim, and this is not the Georgia Workshop. One of the things I like to do in the summertime is come out and work in my garden, but because our yard is so small, we use these containers that we picked up at Tractor Supply as raised planting beds. Also, I have too many things going on, so I try to keep it very small. That one back there is full of strawberry plants, and this one I usually just do tomatoes. And I'll do a couple of small container plants of herbs, and maybe some peppers or something throughout the year. But to get started with this one, the first thing I've got to do is I've got to turn the soil and pull out some of the root clumps from last year. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm digging, you'll see I'm digging down to the bottom of the raised planter bed and pulling up the soil from underneath. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to pull the nutrient-rich soil from the bottom and replace it, kind of turn it over, put the nutrient-starved soil that's on top, put that down to the bottom. At the end of each planting season, I'll throw some kitchen scraps and other items in there to kind of amend the soil. Sometimes I'll put in some other nutrients before I put everything to bed for the winter. So here I'm trying to, like I said, just turn that soil over, but also aerate it to fluff it up so it's not too compacted and allows the roots to grow. This year, I'm going to be planting tomatoes. I got 4 different varieties here. I've got a pink Brandywine. I have got a San Marzano. I've got a Mr. Stripey. And a Midnight Snack. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant them, but I'm going to stagger them a little bit front to back to make sure that each plant gets the most space possible to grow and let its roots kind of stretch out. What I'm also going to do, in the past I've been really kind of particular about picking plants that were actually picture perfect, but what I've learned over the years is the key to growing tomatoes is to bury them deep. Let me show you. See if you can see that. All these little hairs on this tomato plant have the ability to extend roots. So what I'm going to do with this plant is I'm going to clip this, and this guy, and I'm going to plant it that deep. So only this part here will be above the soil. The reason for that is it'll give the plant the most opportunity to extend its roots out nice and wide and give you a good, strong, healthy plant. So the initial stage, we want the roots to grow, and then we want the plant to follow behind. The other thing I'm going to do, which is going to seem very strange. Whoa, I'd like to apologize for what's going on behind me, but that's life. Sometimes you got to scratch that itch. Let's go ahead and give her a little privacy and get back to the video. It's very strange to me too. I've never done this before, but I've seen several videos about it, and people swear by it. Is I'm going to put a raw egg in the bottom of every hole. I'm going to put the egg down there, crack it with the trowel, and I'm going to plant the plant right on top of it. From what I understand, the nutrients in the egg as well as the calcium from the shell will do wonders, and you'll have a much higher yield of fruit than you would if you didn't do this. So I've never tried it before. I think I got nothing to lose. I'm going to give it a shot. So I'm going to get to planting these guys. All right, so here I'm digging a hole down pretty much almost to the bottom of the raised planter bed, and then I'm pinching off the little branches off the tomato plant. That way, when I plant it in there, the stalk, those little hairs I showed earlier, can extend and put out roots. And the bigger the root structure you have in the plant, the stronger and healthier your plant will be. That's where they take up the majority of the nutrients for the plant. And it's kind of hard to tell where it's sped up, but you'll see towards the end here where I right when I get the hole the right size, I take my spade, I crack the egg, put that down in the bottom of the hole. Like I said, the nutrients between the egg and the calcium from the shell are supposed to really help the plant to grow and thrive. And then the reason I'm cracking them, I've seen it done both ways. Some people crack them, some people don't. But I've heard horror stories about where occasionally the plant doesn't break through the shell, the egg goes rotten, and at the end of the year you've got a rotten egg in the bottom of your planter bed. I didn't want to deal with that, so I gave them each just a light crack and then put them in the bottom of the hole. So we'll see how things do at the end of the year. All right, so there you saw I gave the egg a little crack with the spade. Now I'm pinching off the branches and adjusting the hole a little bit and tucking the plant in. I'm not packing it too tight because I want to be able to make sure the roots have plenty of room to grow. All right, so the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my cages out of the shed and put those on now. You're probably saying to yourself that these are way too small to need tomato cages, and you're absolutely right. But the problem is every year I forget to put them on, and then I end up by breaking branches trying to squeeze it onto the plants after they've already grown. This way, put them on now, they can grow up into the cage. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done, but thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time.